Thanks, Al, for having me. Thank you for inviting me for the chili dogs. I didn't get the memo on that one. And of course, Al didn't tell me that there was going to be a teleprompter here that I could actually talk from. So I'll get up and say a few words about some things that are going on and then open up to questions. But the real thing is I don't need a teleprompter because everything I'm going to tell you is from the heart and what we're truly doing here in the Valley. And I think that's what you truly need to hear. So my name is Robert Lewis. I've been the captain at Santa Clarita Valley Station now for, we're coming up on 3.5 months. My career spans 32 years on the department, and I've been at Santa Clarita. I started my career in Santa Clarita in 1985 as an intern and loved the Valley for many years. So I'm going to ask, how many people in here have lived in Santa Clarita Valley over 10 years? Okay, put your hands down. Who's lived here over 20 years? Okay, hands down. Let's see, 30? Okay, hands down. Here we go. 40? Okay, put your hands down. 50? 3 people. So I was born in New Jersey but raised here in California for 51 years in the beautiful Santa Clarita Valley. And I love this valley ever since I could remember. So many things to do, from Tapia Farms to, some of you may remember them back in the middle of the valley. Tapia Farms had their farms out here. We had the cow farms in Saugus, and I grew up in Saugus. I went to parochial school, Our Lady Perpetual Help in Newhall, and then Alamany down in the valley. But my heart has always been true to Santa Clarita and what I do, and I'm now raising my family here in the Santa Clarita Valley. So I'm very happy and very proud of that. So very happy to be standing in front of you tonight. For the past 3.5 months, my efforts have been true and strong in regards to crime prevention. I'm a policeman at heart. That's what I do. That's what I swore an oath to do. I'm a very strong Christian man, and that's what I swore God that I would do, is to protect the community. My goal is to instill that in the deputies that work with me, not for me, because we all work together. So coming back for the past 3.5 months, I'll let you know that I've been here at Santa Clarita Valley throughout my career, from being an intern community service officer, coming back as a deputy. I was here as a deputy for a period of 5-6 years through the 94 earthquakes. He was here for the 94 earthquakes. Devastating time for Santa Clarita, but it really brought the community together. But I really don't want to see devastating things happen for the community to come together. That being said, I left. I didn't come back as a sergeant, but I was very, very fortunate to come back here as lieutenant in 2007. And at that time, I worked for Captain LaBerge. I worked for Captain Becker, and I became the crime prevention lieutenant in implementing a lot of crime prevention strategies. So looking at everything in totality, my sole goal is to, what I think I reiterated to Mr. Jim Holt, who works with Mr. Champion, that if we don't build Santa Clarita as a safe community, people will not come. We have grown this valley to be the 3rd largest city in LA County. We have grown Santa Clarita Station to be one of the largest stations of population, 200 and close to 80,000 plus, 84,000 residents that I, as the captain, serve along with only 249 deputies. Significant. So over the course of the past 3 months, my goal has been to really take a look at what we can do to make sure that the community is safe. And that's what I hope you have been seeing throughout what we've been doing as far as our crime reduction strategies, reducing the speeds in the city, because we have had fatalities in regards to people speeding. And I think people think it's their right in Santa Clarita Valley because they live here and they think it's a safe community, that because you're safe you can speed. And speeding is still a crime. It's an infraction, but it's still a crime, and it still takes lives, needlessly. So over the course of the past 3 months, like I said, we've been working exponentially on our crime prevention strategies. We've reintroduced through social media, and thank you to Mr. Champion, the Signal, to push out our zone concept and the zone deputies. So I would offer to you, Al, that the zone deputies be available and offered to come here to talk to you, that you can outline on the screen. They can provide you with a screenshot of the zone areas they cover, both Zone 7 and Zone 8. And those are your go-to people, because if you don't have someone to communicate with and actually go to, that could be a voice to you or for you, to me, or to the the rest of the deputies at the station to reduce the crime in certain areas, then you don't have, for me, you don't have that big of a voice. You can call, but if you have someone you can actually reach out to and have response with, I think that is tremendous. Over the course of the past 3 months, when I got here, the combined crime between the county and the city was at 18.2%. We are now down to 6.4%. So some of our strategies are working, and we're going to try and continue them to work. Had some extreme support from both the county representatives, Ms. Barger's office, as well as the city, being supportive in providing us the resources and additional resources to get out there to make sure the community and the public know that they're safe. Some of those strategies you'll see, we're going to be putting a lot of it on social media, and the bottom line is that criminals that are coming to Santa Clarita that have made us victims, have made us a part of their enterprise in making money the easy way. We're here to tell them that same thing I told a few weeks ago when we talked about the narcotics that are coming to the valley. No more. We're here to tell them no more, and the deputies are out there and they're doing it. And I hope that you as community members, whether you've lived here for over 50 years or 10 years or 2 years, doesn't matter. The deputies are there to support you. So I'll bring up one last thing before I take questions, and that is this. We frequently have people that are victimized because they leave items in their cars. And they leave it open and they leave it visible. Their cars are, the windows are broken, smashed. It's crimes of opportunity where items are taken. I will ask the publics, you, to reach out to the public, and we're trying to do it through social media, to really take heed to criminals that are making us victims, because in some ways we are leaving the items there and we in some ways are providing it for them. Be cognizant of what you're doing and leaving your property in your car, and leaving things that are visible, mostly computers, phones, electronic devices, jewelry, money, and these are things that are seen by people, and it's just quick. And it could be, we had an individual that left his car, came outside of a store, realized he left his credit card inside, left his car, didn't leave it running. He closed the door behind him, locked the door, but he had his computer bag and everything that he had just brought out of the store, put in his car, goes back in and gets his credit card, comes out, his window is smashed, and his property is gone. The extra effort of the 30 seconds just to grab that bag and the effort to carry it in would have saved some headaches for him and saved it for us as far as our crime. That being said, we need to get to the point where it's okay for you in a safe community to understand it's a safe community, and then if you leave it in your car, it will not happen. And that's the message we need to try and get out, is that if you leave it in your car by accident, we need to know that we're safe, that our property is not going to be stolen. And that's the point we need to get ourselves to as a community. And the final word is that the deputies out here, I will tell you and look every single one of you in the eye if I can, and tell you the deputies out here, coming back out here, seeing what they're doing. Our arrests are up over 60% over the course of the last 3 months. The deputies are doing an outstanding job. Outstanding. I come as a staff instructor as part of my career, and the word I use is outstanding because it really emphasizes what we do. The deputies here that I've seen and I've met, I've provided and ridden in the field. 4th of July was one of them. Al asked me to cover that, and I'll cover that in a minute. But I ride out in the field with each one of these deputies, and I see them, and I see the passion in their eyes. And you have to understand these deputies, sometimes their heads hang low because they feel that they are pressed upon by the public because they don't get recognized for what they do. I ask that the public recognize them for what they do. These guys are passionate. Bottom line, they're passionate about what they do. I can tell you that I'm very passionate about being in this job. I spend a lot of time with them. They do great work. And then, in turn, I ask you, the community, to be part of that effort for the crime prevention. You can't do it alone. My deputies, 249, covering 284,000 residents. They can't do it alone. They need the help from all of you as best they can. You know, the old adage, if you see something, say something, still holds true. But if you don't need to take action. But if you can get other additional information for us when you see it, don't just see it and say something, see it, take down the information for us so we can account for what's going on. So, covering July 4th. Covering July 4th was a tough time for the station. There are so many, our resources are limited. The city does provide a lot, and they were, I have to impress upon you that that night for 4th of July, I actually had to draft, which means I force hired 17 people and pulled them away from their families to spend time to protect the community. In that, we dealt with individuals that were setting off illegal fireworks, individuals who were consuming alcohol and setting off illegal fireworks, and then dealing with the two combined. We ended up in a few uses of force where individuals, one of them who spit at me and spit on me at the time, simply because they felt that they were in the right that they could have fireworks and be in Santa Clarita lighting off fireworks, and it was okay because they had grown up doing that. And I understand that. We all get that. But we have to send the message, and we'll start doing it over the course of the next year. This being my first year, I was able to see some strategies that I could use for next year, and we'll utilize some of those. So some of you were recipients of illegal fireworks, and we didn't get there in time to stop them. I'm not going to apologize because I think we were out there doing the best we could. But what I will say is please understand. The resources I had, 17 deputies on top of another 24 that are already on shift, 41 deputies, sergeants, myself out there, which made us about 45 people out there. We were overrun. So the message really needs to get to the residents to tell them that it is illegal. We need to let them know ahead of time, and we need to really reinforce it as communities within our own streets. So with that being said, I'm more than happy to take some questions if you have any. And Al, do you want me to go out there and answer the questions? I can answer from out there.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't have a question, but I just want to make a statement.
And your name is?
Armine Jones.
I always go by Armine.
Armine, yeah, hi. I've lived here for 30 years. Okay, so I'm on the road really early in the morning. I go to work in West Hollywood, and I get on the road about 5:30. And sometimes I see an officer, deputy, like on Soledad up at the far east end. And, just there to, like, monitor traffic. Because people are doing, like, 70 miles an hour. It's really dangerous. But I like to call the station and just say, hey, thanks. I think it's good to do that. One other thing, I noticed, like, now that people are using that app for Waze or something, Placerita in the morning, when I used to take it, like at 5:30 in the morning, there'd be nobody there. Now there's like 30, 40 cars, because I guess so that would be a good place to put a deputy.
No, which would be great, but that's one of the things that I think when we go back to the zone concept, the deputy that's in charge of your zone needs to know where there's traffic control, whether it's crime prevention. Those are the areas we need to tag.
Right. I have written to mine too, the far
so
east one.
if you write, and I believe your zone deputy is Deputy Cabrera?
I'm not sure.
Yes, it's Deputy Cabrera. Deputy Wilson covers the west side of Canyon Country.
Right, okay.
So,
Thank
but
you.
Deputy Cabrera is that. And he's available on our website. You can email and let him know, and we can get someone out there.
Okay.
We have availability. The city has hired motor officers, and they're out there in enforcement.
Yeah, I've seen them.
So you're going to be seeing a lot more enforcement in regards to as we come back into the school year. That's part of the target is we need to keep the continued effort on it. And as we come back into the school year, we need to really crack down on some of the areas around the schools to make sure the kids are safe.
Speeding like that.
I agree. I have 3 young daughters, and I agree. Thank you. Armine.
Yes, Captain Lewis. I'm Steve Petzold from the Saugus area.
Hi, Steve.
Wanted to ask you a little bit about what can a citizen do when he observes unsafe driving behavior. I used to call in on the STOP program. I believe that's now been ended. Are you familiar with that program?
Which program? STOP program?
STOP. It was like you would call it, put in the license plate number. Supposedly it was mostly for teen drivers that a deputy would go out and visit.
Correct.
The home of the offender. And from what I understand, that program is no longer in place. Is that
That I'm unaware of as far as the STOP program, if it's toward teen drivers, but I think that's something that came up a few weeks ago when I was at the city council. That's something that I have my crime prevention lieutenant taking a look at. And to be honest with you, it is, in some ways, it is teen drivers. And we're talking the STOP program, I believe, if I remember correctly, started well over 12, 13 years ago. And it started because we were having problems with teens that were growing up in Santa Clarita. Some of the neighborhoods were just being built, and the neighborhoods were growing up, and the kids were growing up, and we were seeing teens. I'll be honest with you in that we are seeing everyone, all ages. So the STOP program could be effective, but as far as the STOP program, if you call and give a license plate of a vehicle that's speeding and a description of a person, there could be multiple people in the house. So going over to discuss it with them, we need to take a look at that program and see how we can make it a better program to be effective. As far as calling in people who are being egregious for speeding, if they are speeding and they are causing a public safety issue, meaning they're weaving in and out of traffic, they're speeding and they're accelerating and they run through stop signs, etc., that's someone who may be impaired that we need a phone call right away. So I would ask that you call the station right away and let them know I have an individual who possibly could be impaired, and this is what he or she has done. Run through a stop sign, almost run over somebody in the pedestrian walkway, which is a significant issue out here. They're speeding down the road. They're weaving in and out of cars. All these indicators for us are things that we can have and identify. And of course, we need the vehicle description and the license plate number of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, with the STOP program particularly, it seemed like when I would call in, it was like a county-wide program. So I'd be like, if this occurred in Malibu, press 1. If this occurred in Calabasas, press, there was a Santa Clarita was number 6. So I don't know if you could put in a Santa Clarita specific program. But,
that I have to take a look at. I can't really give you an answer on that now
Okay.
because I am not familiar with the program and I haven't looked at that.
well, thank you.
So.
Hi, Elaine Ballas.
Hi, Elaine.
Planning
How are you?
Country.
Good to see you.
Okay. I'm kind of curious. I think you had alluded to it at the city council meeting, but what about these people who are on their cell phones? I mean, not hands-free, and not just tapping an app to say, okay, Google, send me the best way, or call so-and-so, but they pick up the phone and they're talking on it. What are we supposed to do? I mean, you could take a picture of their license plate or something, but I mean, what happens? I know it's against the law, but
Right.
how do you enforce it?
It's against the law. We are out there enforcing it. We do write citations in regards to cell phone and distracted driving, period. Distracted driving could be anyone looking at a piece of paper and running a crosswalk, still distracted driving. So we're still out there writing the citations, but in regards to what the community can do. The answer is that you can take down the license plate, you can provide the information to us, but unless we see the person conducting at the time, we cannot issue a citation. So if it's someone who is doing it frequently, and here's what we look at as far as patterns. And when it gets to crime prevention, we look at predictive policing and crime patterns. So if there's someone like Elaine Ballas who is on her cell phone on a frequent time frame and in the same car, same vehicle, and there's a pattern that you can call us on, I would suggest that you call us and let us know. Every day around 5 o'clock, I see Elaine Ballas. She's coming home from work. And when she comes home from work, she's driving a maroon Mitsubishi 4-door vehicle, and this is the license plate. But we're letting you know that in this area, in this zone, and I would call the zone deputy. So if it's in zone 8, call Louis Cabrera and let him know this is what's happening, this is where it's happening, this is where it's occurring at, and we can specifically target that. And that's what we do as far as our predictive policing, that we specifically target areas where we know criminal activity is occurring, and that's what we use to drive crime down.
But you didn't really answer the question. Like, if you see somebody doing it,
If we see something, we issue
No,
a citation.
if
If you see it,
Yeah.
exactly what I told you, you can write the license plate number down, you can give us the information. But the issue comes where I cannot issue a citation for an infraction not committed in my presence, and that's the law. I can't even arrest anybody for a misdemeanor crime not committed in my presence. The only time a law enforcement officer or a peace officer can arrest anyone is for a felony not committed in their presence, felonies only. So if someone's violating the new marijuana law, it's a misdemeanor, we can't even arrest them for that violation. It would have to be a citizen's arrest on your behalf. Citizens can't arrest for infractions, and we can't issue a citation. So that's why I'm saying you have to come up with a general pattern. Because if you see someone...
Yeah, I mean, they're just random. I just see them all the time, though.
And you're going to see them because people think they're entitled, and that's where our enforcement efforts, we're still issuing citations for it. Whether we catch the people that you see or not, we are still catching people for that. As a matter of fact, I just had an individual that he was caught on video by one of my deputies on a body cam using his cell phone. The individual argued, and now the individual filed a complaint on the deputy. But I have video disproving it. So that individual will get a phone call from me saying, you know, I have video, and you file the complaint on a deputy, and it goes in the deputy's background, goes in the deputy's jacket.
So basically, there's nothing to do, is what you're saying.
Well,
I mean, especially if it's not a pattern, it's just
random. The answer is, I'm not saying there's nothing you can do, but you can take information down. And if you're in the same place and see the same person, you can do that. Is there anything that can be done at that point in time? I will tell you it's very difficult unless you see a police officer and you can flag them down. It's very difficult. The deputies can't issue infractions against the law. I will have to arrest them. So, okay?
So, anyway, public humiliation.
You just do a citizen's arrest.
What?
You do a citizen's arrest. I know you will. I'm waiting for that day.
We're governed by the law, and I'm telling you what the law provides. So I can't just issue a citation because you see me on a cell phone and you give me a license plate and you get a picture of me. I can't issue a citation because I didn't see it. So I'm not saying anything in regards to putting it on the citizens, but we as a community together work together. So some of our social media outreach, and you can't put everything on law enforcement to do everything. We have to work together as a team is what I'm asking. Okay?
So can we put it on your Facebook page?
What's that?
Can we put the license plate on your Facebook page?
But we can't do anything. You're not understanding.
I know, but public humiliation.
Oh.
Hello, I'm Sandra.
You can report it to Mr. Champion and his team. Okay.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
Sandra Nichols.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
Hi.
Thank you for waiting.
I'm Sandra Nichols from Canyon Country, and first of all, I want to thank you and your officers for everything you've been doing, because I actually have seen it. My problem, and many of my friends, the intersections. People do not look down. I take public transportation everywhere around this city. I will not cross the street anymore, because a couple of years ago, I almost got hit. They get, they have the big SUVs, they don't look down, they just go. As soon as that light changes, they're gone. And I don't know what the answer is. I just want you to be aware of it.
Thank you for making me aware of it. We already are aware of it. We did an in-depth study over the course of the past month and a half through Sergeant Shoemaker from my traffic office. We are aware of it. There is going to be some things you'll see coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, great.
Okay? And then when you see them, do me a favor, call the station. You can call the zone deputy. You can call and ask for me and let me know if you think it's effective and what we can do to change it. And that's the other thing, too. The community, if there's things that you see, you think you can be effective, or you think that can be effective, and we could assist in, you need to let us know. Okay? No, thank you.
I'm Steve, and I'm back.
Hi, Steve.
I heard you mention the body camera, and I was just wondering where is the LA County Sheriff now in terms of giving each deputy a body camera to wear while they're on duty?
At this point in time, Sheriff McDonald was very proactive in trying to get all the policies and procedures together. You have to understand, you see a lot of the agencies across the nation who have established themselves by saying they have body cameras, but you take a look at those agencies and they have maybe 42, 43, where our agency has over 10,000 officers that would need body cameras. So you exponentially you increase that by anytime body camera footage is taken, and that footage has to be downloaded into evidence. And every time the body worn camera comes in and a deputy arrives at the station, everything on the body camera has to be inputted into a system, which, as you know, would be probably 1 trillion terabytes within a year for 10,000 deputies. So what we're looking at is the storage capacity, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to do that. There is also, understand that there is public records requests that come in, and if the public records requests require any redacting of information, like for instance, if it's someone who committed a crime against you, we wouldn't want to put your personal information down, your address of your family, where your family members live. So that has to be redacted. And any faces that are on the video that need to be redacted that we can't see if it's juvenile, et cetera. So there's all these things that we are taking a look at as a department. And we want to make sure that when we provide it to the community, we provide it on the top step and not go back and say, well, we have to pull these back because we have to redo this. And remember, those agencies that only have 42 officers back in the Midwest that can do it, their storage could be something that sits on a desk. Ours has to be exponentially large in a building. So we're looking at all those, looking at the financial access to get those, to provide a body camera for everyone. But I can tell you that it is coming. Currently, the deputies are allowed to, and what we recommend them to, is to purchase their own body-worn cameras in order to make sure that, like with this individual with the citation, that if the person's committing a crime, that if it's on the video and we can disprove the complaint against the deputy and exonerate them, that it works to their benefit. So the deputies are allowed to use their own recording and enter their information into the evidence currently. Other questions? Yes. Come on up. And how much longer do we have, Al?
Welcome.
30 seconds.
Welcome, Captain.
Thank you.
Look forward to having you work with our city.
Thank you.
I've had the opportunity over the last couple decades to work with many of the patrol officers in this area, and I agree with you. They're passionate, and they work with diligence and really do care for the community. Touch upon a little bit homelessness, panhandling, narcotics use, which obviously has increased in our community since we've grown here. What your strategies are and what we can do as citizens to help the department out with that.
Okay, so
I'll let you talk.
No, it's okay. Strategies as far as homelessness, we are working with the city. Being back for 3 months, I have not seen everything we are doing as far as the homelessness. I know that we are working in collaboration with the city, and we are going down to the homeless encampments to make sure that they have the resources that they need. I've been out twice with the deputies in what we call the homeless wash operations to make sure that they are safe, that they have what they need. We go down with the city to offer them all the resources they need. And then it's also to go down and clean up, make a cleanup effort in some of the areas where some of their property is causing a hazard or a health hazard to the community. Moving forward, I can't give you what we're going to be doing moving forward because I have to take a look at it in totality, and I haven't had that opportunity. And I really need to sit down with the city and kind of come up with some efforts that I think and discuss it with them. So moving forward, I'll have some more information for you. You're more than welcome to email the zone deputy, and then I can come back on a later meeting. We can talk about that, Al. That's no problem at all. Panhandling has increased, and that's something that if you see it, let us know. We will come out and do what efforts we can in order to make sure the individual is not committing any violations of the law. And that's really what we're there for, is to make sure that the public is safe, the community is safe, and that any laws that are being violated, that we enforce the law. So in regards to panhandling, I haven't seen a lot of calls come across about panhandling. So like I said, if you see it and you want to notify us, give us a call, let us know. We'll take a look at it over the next couple of months. As far as narcotics is a tough one. So if you saw the press conference about a little over 3 or 4 weeks ago, when I first arrived back, we had a series of overdoses and 1 overdose death. That hit hard for me because we started back in 2010, 2011, the strong effort in order to reduce the amount of narcotics that were here and provide education, enforcement, and a little bit of intervention. And that's where we're at right now, is we are providing that. I asked for a task force to come in, and during the time the task force was here, we confiscated a significant amount of narcotics, and we sent a message to the drug dealers, no more. That we will find you in the San Fernando Valley, which we did. We will find you on the streets of Santa Clarita, which a few of them were not very happy. and we will make sure that you don't victimize. It's another victim. Everyone thinks it's a victimless crime. It's not. Every time someone is offered a narcotic, they're a victim, and that's my true belief. So we are going to be moving forth with that, and another task force will be out here shortly in regards to the drug enforcement and the efforts on that. And you'll be seeing that, hopefully, when I talk to Chuck. I'm kidding. Thank you.
When you say contact you, what is the best way to contact
The zone deputy. Thank you, everybody.